Thank you very much to Tumisang Glovo for that business wrap. To this story now, the Correctional Services Department has confirmed the death of an inmate at the Mangaung prison and that it wasn't from natural causes. The Commissioner, Makgothi Thobakgale, says Mpho Mkhumbeni, who was serving a life sentence, died due to pepper spray exposure. The department spokesperson is Singabakho Nxumalo, who joins us now for more. Mr. Nxumalo, good evening to you, and thank you very much for your time. How did this prisoner die? What were the circumstances?
A very good afternoon, and thank you for having us. We had to conduct an investigation after having received a report from Mangaung Correctional Center, which is operated by a contractor called G4S, where they said an inmate collapsed and died, and then giving us an indication that it's a natural death. So as a department, we said we can't just take it as is. We need to investigate if indeed this is due to natural causes. And when we started with our investigation, different versions were being provided by the officials who conducted the search a night before. And what was glaring for us was that even that searching exercise did not involve the temporary manager that is appointed by Correctional Services, who ought to have been part of that searching exercise. So the red flags were there already. And it moved on now to say, let us wait for a post-mortem results, which then, when they came back, they were clearly stating that this inmate was exposed to pepper spray, but also there was also blunt force trauma, meaning that there was some form of assault that was applied. It was therefore clear that it is not a natural cause when you look at the indication in terms of the cause of death, but an unnatural one. Hence, then, that inquest had to be then changed to then a murder case, which the SAPS is investigating.
My understanding is that the raid that was conducted on this prisoner's cell was unauthorized in the first place. What precipitated that raid?
The report that was given to us was to say there was some intelligence information that they received, which then pushed that raid be conducted. Because what was forwarded to us was that there will be a quarterly drill, because as per the contract terms, on quarterly basis, they have to conduct a drill. A drill is where they check how urgently are their officials able to respond in case of an emergency. And when those officials were done with the drill, they then proceeded to do this searching exercise, where our temporal manager was not even informed about it. And then in that exercise, that's where things go wrong. The first incident is that one of the G4S officials went in there carrying a backpack with an amount of 800 rands. And the report then says he forgot that backpack in a cell, meaning that they had to go back and fetch that bag, which then was where, as they tell us, the 800 rands was missing, but they managed to find it. But they don't state that what method did they use, one, to interrogate those offenders, and whether they forced them or whether they assaulted them or tortured them to get this money back. It was only revealed in our investigation that indeed there was some form of assault that was applied, and also torture when you look at the post-mortem findings. That's when, as a department, we said it's something that we cannot just take it as a small incident. Worse, a life has been lost, and the family has been demanding answers. Hence, then today we're able to say, although our investigation has not been completed, but with the information that is now in front of us that has been verified to be the truth, we can state what was the cause of death, and the officials that were involved, that all of them have been suspended. It was not an easy one because the operation also involved managers, and the contractor was not moving in terms of even suspending the managers that were involved. We had to then invoke other powers that we have in that contract, where we had to suspend their operating certificates for them not to report for duty, placing them automatically on suspension, and we've done that.
Mr. Nxumalo, the Mangaung prison is infamous for Thabo Besta's escape from that facility. This was in 2022. The understanding is that G4S, which manages this prison, they are contractors here. After that Thabo Besta incident, was the department not supposed to have ended the contract with G4S?
We're in court fighting that battle. Our position has never changed, where we do believe that the right cause is for the contract to be terminated and for us to move in and operate that facility. We've long said that we are ready. We've done preparations. Even if the court were to pronounce itself this evening and says go to Mangaung and start operating the facility immediately, we will do that. But unfortunately, we're unable to go there and take over the facility due to the litigation which is there. So as a department, we are really trying whatever possible. Hence, we even had to appoint an official, being the temporary manager, to say, let us have someone in closer proximity to at least check what's happening there, be in a position to assist us in case there are incidents that warrants that we give them closer attention. But when a facility even conduct or itself in a way that they want to blindside that person, conduct that operations without even informing this manager, is something which is disturbing to us. Even some of the reports which were completely false that were given to our investigators are things that we don't take light. Hence, we've even said we are even looking at charges such as, defeating the ends of justice, because some of the statements provided to us were really troubling, where people who were in the closer proximity of that cell claim not to have seen or heard anything. Whereas those, even some of the inmates who even far from that, could tell us exactly of what really happened. And then some of the officials eventually telling us the truth in terms of what transpired that specific evening.
Yeah. The inmate who has died here, this Mr. Mpho Mkhumbeni, the understanding is that he was serving a life sentence for murder. Now, some people will say, well, he took a life, he got what was coming to him, but we live in a rules-based society. What is the department's stance? What is the department's comments to people who are going to speak in that manner?
When people commit crime, they get punished through the justice system. They are taken through the courts, and if the courts convict those people and give them a sentence, that is a punishment. When they come to correctional services, what is then our responsibility? The first is to correct the offending behavior. What is wrong in this person? Hence, we conducted thorough assessment. But then assist them by saying, okay, we now need to prepare you for life post-incarceration, so that by the time you go back into the community, you are now a positive living person who is able to contribute in a way that is progressive. So ours is not to say because you stabbed someone, therefore you must be stabbed, or because you killed, therefore you must be killed. The mandate is clear. We have to protect everyone who's in our space, rehabilitate them, and reintegrate them back into society. So even if a person may have convicted murder, no inmate deserves to die in a correctional facility unless it's due to other natural causes. Hence, every death case has to be investigated. And if found that something went wrong, therefore, a case has to be opened with SAPS, and whoever is at fault will have to face the full might of the law. So as a department, that is never our stance. No inmate has to die in a correctional facility, and if there is foul play, then action must be taken.
Singabakho Nxumalo is the spokesperson for the Correctional Services Department. Thank you very much for your time.